Today is day 62 of 100 random acts of kindness. I will be totally honest, I did not do a video yesterday. I woke up with a very sore throat. I did not feel well at all. My Uncle Greg passed away the day before. We were going to a fundraiser, a 5K run for Ovarian Cancer Canada, and my next door neighbor's sister, who passed away 5 weeks ago from ovarian cancer. She was 5 weeks younger than me. A big part of her legacy is this run. It's through Beau's Beer, Beau''S. And the brewery is about 40 minutes or so from here. And so we donated to it, and Ashley and I we just got each other, as many of us do. Many people who have terminal cancer, it doesn't matter. In her case, it was ovarian. In my case, it's breast. Especially us young adults. The challenges are not harder, they're just a lot different. And we just obviously clicked and connected over cancer, and so her passing away continues to be a challenge for me. It's not like we were best friends, but we just got each other. So we knew it was going to be an emotional day. I didn't feel great, which seems to be kind of the norm anymore. So Leah, Keith, and I headed out there. Obviously, so glad we went. They raised $70,000. $70,000 for Ovarian Cancer Canada, which is just mind-blowing to me. I just think that's amazing. So anyway, we were out there, and then we got home, I don't even know, maybe about 4 or 5 o'clock. I had some kind of work that I wanted to do. I've kind of got some things on the go that I'll be able to share at some point. So I wanted to do some research and stuff for that, but I just couldn't. I just didn't feel good. I was tired. I just feel wonky, and that's the best word that I have right now. I just feel off. I think it's a mixture of that drug is still in me from the clinical trial. It was a pretty brutal one. I don't always like to be totally forthcoming, although I know I did share a lot, but it was a very hard drug. And having been on chemo, I've had panic attacks about thinking about being back on chemo. I don't like to complain too much about any of the side effects that I have from other treatments, because chemo is very difficult, and knowing I'm about to go into chemo, I feel guilty even talking about the side effects from the last trial, but I think there are still remnants. Anyway, I woke up this morning and thought, oh my gosh, I didn't do a video, and it just really was that simple. I just felt like such crap, and for 100 days of gratitude and 61 days of this, I haven't once forgotten a video. And I'm going to say I'm embarrassed that I didn't do one, because that's who I am. I'm very punctual and organized, and that's not like me, but that's what happened. So I'm going to post 2 videos today. Today's video I shot earlier today, and you'll be able to tell that I did when you see it. But today is actually a video I was thinking about, just some of the things that people have done for us. And this is one that I never thought that I would do. So back in 2011, being from a small town, when I would be home, I was in chemo during the summer. And when I would go home during the summer to see family and friends and hang out poolside at my mom's, I can remember a few people who would come up to me and say, I'm praying for you, or can I pray for you? I've had strangers ask if they can pray for me. I grew up Catholic. We went to church every Saturday night. I did as many sacraments as you do in school. So First Communion, baptism, First Communion, reconciliation, confirmation, graduation, and then as you get older, the different ones that you go through. I believe marriage is one. I think there were 8. What am I at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm a little trying to think of the other two. Anyway, yeah, grew up in a Catholic household. But then actually my aunt died when I was 15 of pancreatic cancer. And that really, really, really affected me. And I had a really hard time. I wasn't sure kind of where I fell in terms of, I don't want to say that I didn't believe in God, because I've always believed in God, but I didn't know where I fell in terms of church and what exactly my beliefs were in Catholicism. And so when people would come up to me at 26 years old saying, I'm praying for you, or can I pray for you, or your name comes up in our prayer group, or whatever it is, it was just very confusing. I wasn't offended. When somebody said that, I never thought, no, absolutely not, don't you dare pray for me. It was, first of all, it's strange. I think whether you're a devout Catholic or not, it is not strange in terms of somebody praying for you, but the fact that you're in a situation where somebody is consistently praying for you is not a terribly comfortable feeling, because obviously that means that, I mean, people can pray for you whether things are bad or good, but it was always about my cancer. So it was just very complicated. And then I always thought that I believed, I was pretty sure when I was, I don't know, late 20s, we'll say, I was pretty sure I had it kind of figured out. And then I was diagnosed with stage 4. And then I kind of thought, oh, what if? And it's the faith thing. What if I take my last breath and then there's nothing? And I'm aware that there's nothing. It's just this dark abyss that I'm just waiting for the next step. And so I went through, I mean, okay, you don't have long to live. You're terminal. You're, how was it, 30? I just turned 31. Okay, well, heaven better exist and God better exist. And, it kind of becomes those, oh, I thought I had it figured out, but I don't think that I do. And I don't think anybody is 100% they have it figured out, because we don't know. Nobody's ever died for a year and then come back and said, this is what your first year is like after you've died. So I think I kind of have an idea, and I think I've decided that whatever we as individuals think heaven and the afterlife is going to be like, it is what it's going to be like. And I'm not going to get into it because it's going to get way too deep, and then I'm going to lose my train of thought, because I do that consistently. But I think I've come to terms with kind of what I think it is. It doesn't mean that's what it is. It doesn't mean that it's what anybody else thinks. But having read a number of things, having spoken to a few spiritual guides, having done some meditation and shamanic healing and Reiki and reflexology, like anything that kind of taps into that, I think I have it figured out for me. Not for anybody else, but I think I have it figured out for me. So my random act of kindness, saying all of that, is when people do say that I'm praying for you. And I feel very guilty praying, which I don't think this is a very Catholic thing to say, but I feel that often when you pray, it's to ask God for something. And although I show gratitude, I don't know if I thank God enough. And I just feel like I don't want it to be a one-way street. I don't want it to be a consistent, God, please help me through this, or please help Keith through this, or Mom through this, or Dad through this, or anything, my brothers, whatever it may be. I don't want it to be a take. I try not to do that in life. So I don't know. It's very, I feel guilty about everything, which maybe that makes me a true Catholic. I don't know. But when people say to me now, I'll pray for you, I just think that it means so much, because often people pray consistently. And so I know that somebody is out there when they say they're going to pray for me, I'm included in their prayers. And to be honest, I'm included in a lot of people's prayers. And that to me is a random act of kindness. I know I'm included in prayers from my family, from family of family, from friends, from people on Twitter, from strangers who, if I'm at a speaking engagement, or something like yesterday where I was introduced sometimes as having cancer, and people would say, can I pray for you? Or I will pray for you. Like people who I may never see again. I think that's a random act of kindness. I really do. And like I said, in my first diagnosis, I just didn't quite have it figured out. But now when somebody says that to me, I just think that is very selfless, and to take the time out of your day to add me to your prayers and to ask God to help me in whatever case that may be. I'm grateful for it. And I think it's pretty amazing. I think I've said, I can't believe it's been 11 minutes. I feel like I could talk another 3 hours about this, but that's where I think I stand. I don't know. It's kind of a bit of a scale, but I think that's where I stand. So sorry about yesterday. That's never the plan, to miss a day. And you'll have 2 videos today, and hopefully I get my act together tomorrow and post one there. So to all the love and support about my uncle, thank you so much. I feel like he and I really connected, especially in the last year or so, because he died of cancer, and we just connected in a way that you only can with somebody else who's been there and who gets it and knows the fear every single second. So with that, I will say, I'll talk to you tomorrow.